All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is the say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation. And that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? And what are we going to talk about here? Commercialized Israelites, all right? Because as I was scrolling through YouTube, something popped up on my feed, and I clicked on it, and it was referencing this salmon burger on the secret menu recommended by one Deacon Genesis as in a way to eat, I would suppose, or eat something that's, a little bit more healthier, all right? Giving you a alternative, all right, than eating a burger, you can eat a salmon burger, okay? And he said, when you pull up, now I don't know if this is exclusively to the In-N-Out burger in his neck of the woods, or if this even is a thing or not. Maybe he has someone there that's working that will give you something like this, or maybe he's, joint air with an In-N-Out burger or anything of that magnitude where he can, give you something along the lines of having an alternative choice of eating a burger. You can get a salmon burger. Or maybe as it is, what I believe is a ploy or a plot to what? To promote his clothing line, okay? And we're going to look up that word commercialized. Because as I typed in the Google search box, I says, does In-N-Out have a salmon burger on the secret menu? And the AI overview says what? There is no salmon burger on the In-N-Out secret menu or any menu, secret or otherwise. An In-N-Out burger is known for its burger, fries, and shakes, but they do not offer any seafood options, including salmon. The secret menu mainly consists of variations and customizations of their existing burger offerings, okay? So whether it's true or not, we're going to play this clip and you're going to see it for yourself. But one thing you cannot deny is he has on a hat and a shirt, okay? Which could be a way of a ploy or a plot to what? Further promote his clothing line, as in a commercial, okay? So that's why I said commercial Israelites, okay? So let's let it play and let's get a few precepts. So check it out.
Hey y'all, In-N-Out just dropped that new salmon burger. The new salmon burger. Go crazy. Had to get the chilies to put on there too. Had to get the animal style fries. But take a look at the new In-N-Out salmon burger. It's golden. It's absolutely golden. It's everything. It's everything we want. Let's take it out. Let's unravel this thing. What it look like on the inside. Oh. And when you go to the drive-thru, tell them you want the Deacon Genesis salmon burger off the secret menu.
And tell him Deacon sent you, okay? That was the only part he was missing of the commercial. Tell him Deacon sent you and ask for the Deacon Genesis salmon burger, all right? And the commercial would have been, commercialized, all right? But you get the gist of it, all right? The clothing line, the shirt, the hat, and everything else, okay? So now let's look up the word commercialized.
Commercialize.
This is the word commercialize. It means manage or exploit, okay? What are they exploiting in this regards or sense? The truth, okay? because they're making merchandise on the truth. All right. So get your salmon burger, or alternative way of eating healthier rather than burgers. Tell them Deacon Genis, or ask for the Deacon Genis salmon burger. All right. What else? An organization, activity, etc. in a way designed to make a profit. Supposing gainliness is godliness. Okay. So to make a profit, you got the hat. You seen the hat. You think the hat was cool. What does it say? It said something about Babylon. And the shirt, you think the shirt was cool? What did it say? Something about the 12 tribes, all right? Stop on over to Deacon Genesis page and pick up your hat and your shirt, okay? So whether or not there is truly indeed a secret salmon burger on the In-N-Out menu, you can still get your apparel at whatever website it is, all right? And some may say, well, what's wrong with that? All right. There's nothing wrong with you selling apparel. All right. But why use the word, the truth, to do so? All right. Just preach the word. Be instant, in season and out of season. If you want to make your own apparel, your own hats, cool. Do that separately from the word. Do that separately from the word. If you want to start up a chain or invest in a chain of hamburgers and salmon burgers and whatever, cool. Ain't nothing wrong against that. But just make it separate from the word. The word is the word itself, okay? Just teach and preach, man, okay? The word doesn't need to be commercialized. It doesn't need to have outside interference for it to be, somehow relatable to the mass, okay? Because the mass, the population at large, isn't supposed to get it, okay? Only a small remnant, the elect. All right. So it doesn't need an In-N-Out burger backing, or it doesn't need an In-N-Out burger, or should I say salmon burger, to endorse it. Okay. The truth doesn't need endorsements, man. All right. Matter of fact, the truth already has the endorsements, the 144,000, the elect. All right. That's enough to endorse the truth by itself. It doesn't need an In-N-Out burger. It doesn't need apparel. It doesn't need anything but the elect, those that were sealed from the foundation to preach this word in the last days. It doesn't need endorsements from any other source. Okay, so let's get a couple of precepts and then we'll probably close out from there. All right, this is 2 Timothy 3:13. It reads, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived." So those that believe that they're doing the will, and those that know that they're not doing the will, but they're just filling their own bellies, okay? It says, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived." All right? Because, hey, you're going to have people that actually look at this and say, man, that's a great cause to give us an alternative way of eating. All right? When it was told to us we were going to come here and eat our bread defiled, man. All right? So whether you get a salmon burger or a hamburger, man, all right, everything that we have and get here in this defiled place known as Babylon the Great is not going to be up to par. All right, we just have to do our best. Okay, we just have to do our best according to what we have obtained. All right, through this walk. It says, "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned," which is what? This truth, "and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them." So you have to be sure of who you learn your doctrine, your teaching from, okay? Whether or not they are preaching according to this truth, or whether or not they have an ulterior motive, okay? To what? Commercialize, promote, and garnish the attention from themselves, okay? Because John told us that what? We must decrease, all right? Getting your own burger, and then slapping the truth on top of it or putting the truth alongside of it, that's not you decreasing. That's you trying to play the role of, hey, running side by side alongside the truth. All right? Where this truth, it must take precedent over everything. Okay? It says St. John 3:30. It reads, he must increase. Who is he? Yahushua. But I must decrease. And this, in this regards, this was John the Baptist speaking. All right. But we apply this to ourselves today too. All right. We must decrease, man. All right. If we want to have our own little business on the side where we sell, merchandise and clothing and food and things of that magnitude, let it be separate from the truth. All right. Let it be separate from the truth, because the truth doesn't need endorsements. All right. The truth has a way of finding the intended, audience that it has. Okay. So, it has a way of finding it. The truth has a way of finding its intended target, which is the elect. All right. So, you may use the excuse, I'm using these avenues or these other ways to further push the truth, but you just filling your own belly, man. Okay? You're just filling your own belly. Where do you get the example of commercializing the truth? All right? That's not a concept that our forefathers used. All right? Where did you see our forefathers, out there making merchandise, selling, hats and shirts and I don't know if it's true or not, but, teaming up with corporations to get your own salmon burger put on the menu, albeit the secret menu? You see? I can't think of a example of the prophets, in the days of old, trying to team up with the corporations, or in their times, the powers that be, the Roman Empire, the Babylonian, so on and so forth, to say, hey, you know what? Let me strike a deal. Let me strike a deal with you where I can, use whatever it is that you're pushing, whatever idol or God you're pushing, but I can attach it to the truth, therefore I can reach more of my people. No. The prophets, the servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai of old, hey, they taught the truth. And guess what? It wasn't popular. But guess what? They didn't care, man. They didn't care what the people thought. Okay? They feared the Lord, man. All right? They feared the Lord. They wasn't watering down no doctrines to, gain notoriety and popularity. No. All right? They understood. They were on a mission. And guess what? It wasn't popular of being a prophet back then. Why? Because you usually was perceived as what? Being a prophet of doom. One that what? Prophesied about what? War, famine, and pestilence. Okay? You didn't usually bring good news or good tidings. Okay? You see? But now, yeah, I got this In-N-Out burger, just ask for that salmon burger on the secret menu. Tell them Deacon sent you, or ask for the Deacon Jennings salmon burger. That's something more relatable to the people. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm hopping into something new when I'm through. See, all that stuff, those are gimmicks, man. Commercialized. The prophets of old, they didn't give a damn whether or not you accepted it or believed what they told you. All right? They was gonna preach and tell you what was thus saith the Lord. And if you couldn't receive it, guess what? That was you. Okay? Because, hey, there's nothing new under the sun. All right? They were out partying, having a good time back then in the days of Noah. And guess what? They doing the same thing here. All right? In these last days. So this is Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. It reads, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries. Let's see if they was prophesying, yo, get your salmon burger, tell them Deke sent you, or tell them you want that salmon from Deacon Genesis. Okay, let's see. It says, what did they prophesy of old of? It said, and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries. What did they prophesy against? And against great kingdoms. Let's listen. Of war. This is what we should be out here doing, man. Telling the people that, hey, the world, the third woe or World War III is on the brink of breaking out. What else? And of evil. There's the microchip that's getting ready to be made mandatory. What else? And of pestilence. They may even try some type of chemical, biological warfare. All right? Or the Most High may send a natural pestilence. Okay? So repent. Not get your shirt or your t-shirt or your hat or this salmon burger. No, man. All right? And if they don't care, oh well. All right? But see, when you are filling your belly, you want to get as much as you can. You don't have the people's best interest at heart, man. Okay? You the cool or the commercialized Hebrew Israelite now. All right? You done ascended past that level of humility and humble. Now you done became commercialized. You done let the fame, the little bit of fame and notoriety get to your head. Now you cool as a cucumber, man. All right? I got, hey, tell him Deacon, hey, ask for that Deacon Jennings salmon burger, man. All right? You know, all while rocking the fitted cap. And what else? The t-shirt, man. You see? That was basically a commercial there. In case you wasn't aware, that was a short commercial of what? Of not just the salmon burger, but also of the merchandise. Okay, that was a short commercial of what? You know, giving you the fitted, giving you the tea. All right? Then you see. Okay? But the prophets of old, they didn't care about any of that, man. All right? They weren't liked by most. Okay? So it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. Well, guess what? If all you do is prophesy, you're not going to be liked very much. All right? So that's why you got to have some type of, commercial to make sure that you're relatable or liked by the mass, so that what? You can get your not only views and subscribes up, but so you can get your bankroll up as well, man. All right? So if you give alms, that's one thing. But, to make merchandise, come on, man. That's something totally different now, okay? You using the word for your own gain, okay? Instead of making the word about the word, you using the word to be about you, okay? So let's see if we can get this. What is that? Second. This is 2 Timothy 3 and verse 1. It reads, this know also that in the last days. Are we not in the last days? Sure we are. Perilous times shall come. Here it is. We on the brink of World War III, man. And you got Hebrew Israelites pushing commercials, man. You can't make this up, man. All right? You got Hebrew Israelites, those that know they're Hebrew Israelites, making commercials, man. It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves. This is why. They're lovers of their own selves. Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures, more than lovers of the Most High, man. This is why they go commercialized, man. This is why they changed their channel over from non-monetized to monetized, okay? It's not coincidence that now you got Israelites that have allowed their channels to now become monetized. At one point in time, they wouldn't have their channel as being monetized, but now they see there's a small window of opportunity to get this bag as being some type of, head over Israel that the people come to and look for guidance that you can what? Capitalize off of that. All right? Monetize. Because why? These are what these debates do, man. When you in a debate spirit, it makes you high-minded. It makes you become, as if some guru that you know the Bible in all totality. All right? And then those that are being deceived by that, they don't know no better. Okay? So they look at you as this, second to maybe even right there as part of what? The quote-unquote Trinity. Now we know the Roman Catholic Church and them believe the Trinity, that God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are all one. But, amongst the Hebrew Israelites, they believe that these people like, the Genesis, ISUPK, and Sakari, and others that do these debates, that they must be right alongside with that Trinity doctrine. Because why? Hey man, we got everything. We know anything. We'll debate anyone. You want to smoke? Just click the link. Okay? Click the link. All right? Get into the chat. You see? Oh yeah, Israel like to be entertained. If you haven't found that out by now, I don't know where you've been hiding up under a rock at. But Israel likes to be entertained more than they like the truth. See, the truth isn't sexy. It isn't good enough. So you gotta spruce it up and commercialize it. Get your In-N-Out salmon burger. Ask for that Deacon Jenna's salmon burger. Whether or not they sell a salmon burger or not is besides the point. All right, the point is what? That you making, merchandise, that you putting this truth secondary instead of primary. All right, that you're what? You're a lover of your own self. All right, you love yourself more than you love the word, man. And that's a big issue, man. All right, that's a big issue. All right, do all that separately from the word. All right, don't try to correlate the word with your businesses that you may have. All right, because that doesn't make you, how do I say, by you pairing up your businesses with this truth doesn't make you holy. Okay? Oh yeah, I got a side business. I just opened up an In-N-Out burger and we gonna serve an alternative choice of burgers, but you gotta know my name, Deacon Jenna's, and then you gotta ask for that on the secret menu, and they gonna give you that salmon burger, man. All right? It's an alternative way of eating. Okay? Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you I teamed up with this In-N-Out corporation, or I got somebody working on the inside that, hey, all you got to do is ask for that Deacon Jenna's salmon burger, and they going to hook you up, man. See? At that point in time, when you plugged in your name and your organization, you just took the credit, okay? Now, you just took the credit over the word. All right? You just plugged in, and that's what they do. These commercials, when you got big venues like the Super Bowl, these corporations, they pay big time money to plug in their names, because why? They know millions upon millions of people are going to be watching, and that's the way to what? Get their name out there more. All right, as opposed to a regular football game where you may not have as many people watching. The Super Bowl garnishes a large audience, and guess what? You pay more for that little 15-second commercial than you would for any other commercial during any other time. Well, guess what? When you tag or plug in your name with In-N-Out Burger, that's a good corporation, or a well-known corporation, all right? And now you just plugged in your name, okay, whether it's found to be true or not, if you have a salmon burger or whatever, but now you just plugged in your name. So now guess what? you get the attention garnished towards your group, your organization, whatever. All right, and the truth doesn't get its just due. All right, so that's why you have to be very mindful of the things you put out there, man. All right, you have to be very mindful that you put the truth first, and then everything else falls into place, second, third, fourth, so on and forth, and so on and so on. All right. So it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. We hear, man. All right. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. That's just it, man. They lovers of their own selves, man. To the point that what? They'll put themselves over the truth, man. They'll put promoting their own brand over promoting the truth. Okay. That's just the time we in, man. All right. We truly are in the last days, whether you want to accept it or not. All right. We seeing it. All right. Not only in the Christian churches, not only, but in the truth itself. Okay. We expect that from the Christian churches. All right. But hey, it's hitting home. Those that know the truth, man. All right, they figured this is their time, their moment. They've been in the truth for 15 plus years. This is it. All right. They waxing worse now in these last days, man. All right. They're lovers of themselves. See, this truth has a way of showing just who a person is, as it tells us in Hebrews 4:12, man. All right. The truth has a way of exposing and showing who you are. All right. This is Hebrews 4:12. It says, the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit. What else? And of the joints and marrow. What can it do? And is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart or the mind. So this truth is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, the mind. All right. And you see where these people's hearts or their mind is at in these last days. It's on filling their bellies, man. All right. And you simps or you simpletons is just part of the ploy or the plot, the gimmicks. All right. You individuals that follow them, that's just, it is what it is. All right. And no way to, spruce it up or try to make it. Nah, it is what it is, man. Y'all just the deceivers. All right. You got the deceive and the deceivers. All right. Both of y'all gonna fall into a ditch. If the blind lead the blind, both should fall into a ditch, man. All right. So, hey, go up there and ask for that salmon burger on the secret menu and see how that goes, man. All right. Go ahead and do it. Nothing wrong with it. Go try it out. Maybe that'll be the new Hebrew Israelite trend or fad, asking for a salmon burger on the secret menu. All right. Like the new Hebrew Israelite challenge. Like you had the ALS challenge and the TikTok challenges. Now here's the new Hebrew Israelite challenge. And then that person is going to want to get all the attention from themselves. See? So it's never about the word, man. When you commercialize this truth, it's never about the word. It's more about you. All right. So that's lovers of themselves. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and close out, Didn't want to take it that long, but, Spirit moves how it moves. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It tells us to what? Be sober. What else? Be vigilant. See? Stick to what got you there. Okay? Stick to what got you there. All right? Don't go off trying to reinvent the wheel, man. All right? If the wheel is what took you from point A to point B, you don't need to go trying to reinvent it, man. Okay? Trying to put a new coat of paint on it. No, man, just stick to what got you there. Be sober and be vigilant. That's what got you there, man. Don't go try to go out on your own and spruce things up, man. All right? That's when you start going off, man. It says, because your adversary, the devil, and the devil, we know is Esau eating the so-called white man, but the devil could be your own self as well, man. All right, the devil could play thoughts on your mind and believe and have you believe that what you're doing is commemorable. All right, it's to be commemorated. All right, here it is. I'm giving the people an alternative choice than to eat greasy burgers with fat and get them something real slim and lean and healthy in a salmon, although it's coated in all type of oils and fats and shit like that you don't know what they cooking it in, okay? Because they ain't cooking that salmon in clean grease, or you don't know if it's touching anything else in there. You don't know if they got, bacon in that kitchen, and that salmon has turned up against that bacon. I mean, that salmon has rubbed up against that bacon. You don't know what you're getting, because why? It told us we was going to eat our bread defile in Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. All right? So we don't get the pureness of what we're supposed to get here in this defiled land, man. That's when we get into the kingdom. All right? So that's why you got to be mindful of these things, man. All right? You ain't going to get the best of the best on this side, man. All right? But hey, long as we can get our daily bread, we're okay. We're content with that. All right? Until the time comes where they say, in order for you to get your daily bread, now you must take that microchip. Then at that point in time, we say no longer will we take and get our daily bread from you. We're gonna rely on Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? But see, when you're not in the spirit, you can't get these type of things. All right? So it says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And sometimes he plays on your own mind, your own psyche. And if you don't know how to rebuke him with this word, this truth, guess what? You're gonna cave and fall into his deceptions. Okay? You're gonna make that commercial. You're gonna exalt yourself above this truth. You're gonna follow after the ways of him. Why? Because you're not sober. You're not vigilant. You're not going with what got you to the party. Okay? See, that old bucket, it got you to the party, but it got you there. Now you want to trade that old bucket in for some upgrade. I want to upgrade. I want that new touchscreen TV with exhaust dual pipes and everything else. But see, that shit, it didn't get you to the dance, man. That old jalopy, that old bucket, it got you there, man. All right? And you was humble. All right? But now, see, you want to jump into something foreign. You want to jump out and get into something foreign now. Getting big-headed, man. All right? Yeah, I'm going to jump out into something foreign. I'm going to jump into something foreign now. I don't want to ride in that bucket no more, man. I've been riding in that bucket for way too long, man. Yeah, but that bucket is what kept your ass humble, man. All right? That bucket is what kept you putting the truth above your own desires. That bucket, that jalopy, is what kept you from being a lover of your own damn self. Now you feeling yourself because you got that new 2025-26 Hellcat, all right, or Scat Pack, or whatever. Now you feeling yourself way more than what you ought to, and you being deceived. And in being deceived, you doing the deceiving as well. All right? So be sober. Be vigilant. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And it's not too late to repent, man. All right? We all fall short, okay? None of us is perfect, man. All right? As long as we in this sinful flesh, we are prone to go off, man. But that's why we got to listen to open rebuke, especially if it makes sense, okay? So, hey, we understand we walking in this flesh, man, all right? Sometimes, we get too high-minded of ourselves, man, and we got to be brought back down to earth, man, okay? You much rather get it on your own before the Lord brings you back down to earth, all right? Because the Most High got to humble you, man. It ain't gonna be anything pleasant, all right? You much want to get rebuked from someone else than the Lord, man, all right? You want to take the Lord rebuking you through a mouth of a servant or a prophet than for him to touch out and reach you, man, all right? So you still got time to rebuke, man. This is what we do, man. We try to perfect this walk that we're in to the best of our ability, man. All right, we trying to get right before the Lord comes, before all hell breaks loose. All right, we want to go into Jacob's trouble in the Spirit, in the Holy Spirit, man. All right, not being high-minded, not being lovers of our own selves, not putting us above the word, man. All right, all of this is what got you to the truth, in that bucket that now you want to upgrade. Here it is, that bucket that jalopy still drives. Still gets you from point A to point B. You see, you may have to drive with the windows rolled down, but hey, it still works, man. It ain't putting you in danger. It ain't jeopardizing anything other than how people look at you. Oh, look at him, he in that bucket, that jalopy. Oh, look at the girls. The girls ain't giving you the attention and affection you want. See? Jake's so worried about pleasing everyone else except for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai see you in that bucket and say that's a humble servant, man. See, but you worry about what the fucking world thinks of you. I don't want to be in that bucket forever. I've been in that bucket way too long. Yeah, but you was humble and meek in that bucket. Now that you done upgraded to the 2025, 26 Hellcat Scat Pack or whatever, now you getting all the attention you want. The women throwing their underwear at you. The ninjas, they want to be like you. You see? Now you getting what you want, man. All right? And alongside of getting what you want, hey, pride goes before the destruction. And a haughty spirit, what? Let's get that. This is Proverbs 16 and verse 18. It reads, pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. See? So it's going to be once the Most High take all that, you going to be out on your ass because you ain't going to know how to handle all that. Coming from getting all that fame and praise and, thanks, brother, for saving me, for waking me up, to the truth. Thanks, brother. I couldn't have been awoke to this truth if it wasn't for you. See? All that pride goes to your head, man. Reading the tea leaves, as they said. When you read your comments on your videos, yeah, you start getting that big-headed, man. You start, let me jump into something foreign. You want to go spin the block in that Hellcat, that Scat Pack. Got the window rolled down, got one hand on the steering wheel, leaning to the side, tilted to the side, and your gangster lean. Your fitted hat cocked to the side like T.I. Riding around the city, nigga. And something foreign, man. That's what you want. You want that attention, man. You want the women. You want the ninjas want to be you. Okay? You found a niche in the truth, man. You was able to become this guru. All right? This one that's looked above to be what? Damn near sucking in command. Or right up under sucking in command. See? So it says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is, verse 19, to be of an humble spirit with the lowly. See, you don't want to drive in that bucket though. See, that bucket is getting played out, man. See, there's a saying that I'm gonna ride it until the wheels fall off. Jay don't want to ride that bucket until the wheels fall off, man. Nah, man, he want to get that attention, man. 10, 15 years is too long to be riding in the bucket, man. It says, better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. See, you want to get your glory over on this side, man. You want to divide the spoil with the proud, man. See? And it's okay. You're going to get it. You're going to get all you want, man. All right? All you want. All right? Because why? You don't want to be lowly and you don't want to be humble, man. You don't want to ride in that bucket no more. You know? And I can say I get it, man. You know, you young, fairly young. You know, you may be in your 30s or early 30s or what have you. You know, you you feel like you see the sun setting on your immortality. You're getting ready to reach your 40s. Or you may not saying you specifically, but there may be ones out there that's in their 40s and they want to still be that young 20-year-old dude, 30-year-old dude. You know, so they go out and what? They get just for men. They try to turn back the hands of time. Put that just for men in their beard to turn their beard black. Instead of rocking the grays, man. Got you fitted, you know. Cover up your baldness, man. You know, got your t-shirts and everything else, man. I get it. We all want to be young forever, man. Jay-Z did a remix to Young Forever. We all want to look and be young forever. But guess what? We going to be that way. Once we get changed in the twinkling of an eye, all we got to do is ride this out until that time. If you believe we going to get changed in the twinkling of an eye, pursuant to 1 Corinthians 15, right around verses 50 and 51, man, this moment momentarily of being in this sinful flesh ain't gonna last, man. All right, it ain't gonna last, man. You see, we gonna get changed in the twinkle of an eye, man. All right, but see, hey, a lot of individuals that say they believe, they don't believe, man. They want to get everything on this side because they don't believe the chariots are gonna come. That's good to teach and preach to get more followers and more money, but they don't believe that. They're gonna go out there and get that just for men, you know, beard and whatever. They're gonna get their beard trimmed up and everything so they can what? Look good for the ladies, man. You a ladies man. You got the Hellcat. You got the black hair, the black beard. You see? You might got braids if you got braids. You see, you looking good for the women, man. Because that's what it all boils down to for the women, man. All right, you want to be a ladies man, a quote unquote player. All right. What's that song? Old song. Well, not old, but I don't want to be a player no more. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. Thinking I found someone. I don't know if that's Fat Big Pun or what, man. But it's one of them old school songs, man. But you get the gist of it, man. You know, Jake, you know, he humble in the beginning, man. All right, but he builds himself up, get the truth. You know, next thing you know, he switches up, man. All right. So the warning is 1 Peter 5:8. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. The warning is be sober, be vigilant, stay in that bucket. Because your adversary, the devil, sometimes it could be your own thoughts, man. As a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? And if you give in to them thoughts, man, instead of rebuking them sharply, hey, he got you, man. Nobody can tell you at that point in time. You the man. What happened to you? Like 50 Cent said, what happened to you in high school? You used to be the man, homie. See? So once the devil gets into your head and you give into it and you say, I'm going to go all out, man. That's it. Now you the man. Nobody can tell you different now. All right, you the man now. You ain't never seen this type of attention before. Before this truth, you wasn't even a regular Jake, man. All right, before this truth, you was a square. You ain't getting women like this. You ain't getting notoriety and fame like this. You see, you was just someone off in the crowd, man, that somebody would have walked past you and never gave you a second glance or look at, man. Before this truth, no one would ever came up to you and say, you mind if we take a picture with you? You see, before this truth, they would have never looked at you as nobody. All right? But see, This truth is giving you that attention. It allows you, it has garnished you for what you want it to be. You always wanted the spotlight, so guess what? You getting the spotlight in this truth now, man. Now they asking for your picture. Now they asking for, can you counsel us on this and that? Before this truth, man, you would have never been in this position of power. You see, that's why I don't want to. That's why I just want to be humble, man. I know what it is to have that kind of power, man. For people to, yeah. So I understand, man. But guess what, man? To much is given, much is required. Okay? So, hey, you got to understand, man, when you in a position of notable notoriety, the more you are in a position of power, the more you have to be humble. Okay? The more that you are in a position of power, the more you have to be humble. All right? And that's hard for Jake DeGrasse, coming from a background where one may not have got that type of attention before. You see? That's hard to understand. I got to be more humble now, just when I was getting the attention that I wanted. Yeah, man. That's how you stay meek and humble in this thing, man. Or else pride goeth before the fall, and the destruction before a haughty spirit, man. All right? You don't want the Most High to reach out and touch you. Reach out and touch. You don't want him to touch you, man. So just take heed to what the word tells you, man. Just take heed, man. All right? Didn't mean for it to be, stretched out this long, but, it is what it is. All right? So we're going to end it on that note. And with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong. Stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.